Alrighty, guys, I am back. Stand by, stand by. Alright. I don't know. I think, like, if I were to rank the games I'm playing right now, I'm probably having the most fun with Majora's Mask, followed by Resident Evil. Hard to say, actually. Which one I find more fun, Magic or Hearthstone? Yeah. I'd probably say Hearthstone, Magic. Yeah. And then Phoenix. And actually, I started playing Bloons TD6 today. I have to say I prefer Adventure Time because I like there to be more linearity with the levels that you play through. If that makes sense. Like, I like knowing, like, okay, this is the level I play first, then this, then this. Like, there'd be a sense of progression. In TD6, at least the Netflix version that I'm playing right now on my phone, um, it's a bit too loosey-goosey in a sense. Like, they've got stages and you can play all of them. Like, you can play all the beginner stages and you can play them at any difficulty. Uh, but I feel like it's too open, too broad. You have too many options to play at once. And something that I think was in Adventure Time is that, again, there was more linearity with the levels. Like, you could play this level first, then this, then that. Hey, come on, I'm trying to open it. Come on. Go. There it goes. I don't know what it was holding that up. This mouse, like, I dropped it a while back, and ever since, like, I really have to, like, press the click. It, like, reduced the sensitivity, like, when I dropped it. It's a drag, too. Because it's a Jellycone mouse. It was a great mouse up until then. See, like, it didn't grab right there even though it clicked. Two-one trial. February 9th, 9:47 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 1. Oh my, Mr. Luis feels that way about me? Luis Phoenix. He isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm just hardly cussing that sort of thing. You look like Dahlia Hawthorne. We're not. In any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident. Mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Luis is the witness today? No, I believe that none. He'll be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini. Why is that her name? I don't know. She claims to have seen the very instant when she carried out the crime. Damning. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Bellingham, correct? That is correct. It wasn't me. Very well, then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? You're a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed, don't worry, I've made the necessary arrangements. I don't understand, like, can prosecutors not be defense attorneys? I don't know. It's the prosecutor's job to doubt people. Right now, I'm a defense attorney. Defense attorney's job is to believe in people and to believe until the bitter end. What happened to Phoenix, dude? Is he just MIA? That's what my friend told me once. Mr. Edgeworth, I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I'm fit to do the task I've been entrusted. I leave my defense in your capable hands. It's gonna be weird playing as Edgeworth. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Again, so weird. Wow, no Godot, wow. Defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. We've seen this case already before, over it had a chance to begin. It was already over. On to me. Ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant.
Objection!
Not, what's her name? Oh, we haven't seen it since Justice for All. That's, the prosecution stands rape. What was her name, dude? Francesca, right? Von Karma. Yeah, correct, Von Karma. And you all. Francesca Von Karma, prosecuting prodigy. Dude, we haven't seen her in a minute. Last we saw her was again in Justice for All. Von Karma, you say? Chance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred Von Karma. We saw him in Ace Attorney. Legends are a thing of the past. I'm the Von Karma, that's all. On a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case. You did? Well then, you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before, or am I just imagining things? It should be an interesting case, Edgeworth versus Von Karma. But very much like a prosecutor I met was. I believe you're imagining things, Your Honor. Ms. Von Karma, do you have anything to say? There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office. There isn't? But I'm sure once before in this courtroom. Ah! There she is whipping people again. There's no such weakling. What is that, a whip? Not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Yeah, I'm not sure why the other judge would allow it either. Bailiff, remove that whip.
Hold it!
Hold it. I have no objection to the whip. What? Edgeworth. Stay silent, please. We need to do away with the whip. Finally, a judge is talking sense, Edgeworth. There's no reason to contradict a judge who's finally speaking some sense. You don't... Prosecution can will a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. But there is still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today. Again, how is the judge supposed to do his job? Interesting. Miles Edgeworth. Oh, great. There. Sorry, my headphones had to be plugged in like a certain way. Otherwise, it won't pick up. I'm looking at you now. Maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to slip between my fingers. I'm surprised she hasn't heard of Edgeworth. I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add to things I'm not sure about. People act bizarrely in my court. Wah! Your stage is set. Now continue the proceedings, Your Honor. Very well. Ms. Von Karma, please give an outline of this case. With as little whipping as possible. Remember the victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise Torres. The body was found in the Hazakura Temple court. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. The sword in this picture and the weapon in question, correct? Very well, the court accepts this photo of the crime scene. Dude, Von Karma should have an open and shut case. I mean, we have a witness to the murder. Front photo of the courtyard where Elise Dunham was murdered. Plus the murder weapon, I mean, what more do you need? There's no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Aya. After all, there's a witness to her claim. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. The first and last trial as a defense attorney. I'm actually very surprised. Well, this... State your name and occupation, please. Hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. What? I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Almost makes sense. Please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our backup. Pain flake witness. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please. Once again, the name and occupation. Little old me, well, I'm the head down of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. try to get all these voices straight. You don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. Well, courtroom isn't guarded for each other. We have so many personalities in the courtroom, it's crazy. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave the sanctuary. You want me to leave? I need to get your bikinis in a twist, let me tell you, on the sight to behold in the summer. La la. Please don't disturb us. In any case, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I could still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way the little Irish could do anything like that. Let us hear what you have to say, then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh? What are you, Canadian? Tell us about... That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the temple, but as you can see, my back likes to act up, mind it. So I left Irish to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long hot soap. It was after I had finished just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it. Let's get cut to the action, please. So a simple coincidence that you found yourself returned to Hazakura Temple. Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made. There's only one problem with this testimony that I can see. You're not about to follow the first hurdle to argue Miles Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. You hear? The night of the murder. I was helping act like with her training on temple. Hold it! Hold it! What is this inner temple? See, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right? We'll be the ones asking questions, madam. Or do that, a place strong and spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Were you the one who murdered her? Fuck. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training. How exactly do you help with this process? It's all quite exacting. I can't be performed without none supervising. Like a tutor watching to make sure a spoiled child studies. Tutor with a whip in your case. If that is the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place? You can see my back likes to act up violently. Hold it. Violently? That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and a fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training. On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again? That's right, raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off. How? Hold it! Hold it! You left Irish to help with what? What do you think? Acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m. but we were starting to enter into the training exercises proper. Wasn't it your place to remain with the disciple? Well, the job is simply to watch over the acolytes so they don't pass away. Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the Inner Temple, correct? Yes, she's a gentle, honest girl. She never once failed to follow my directions. No bath at the temple. Hold it! So you returned to the Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath. My back is blamed for everything. It's a do or be done with kind of world after all. How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking? You need to stop being so melodramatic. What a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. I bet your next question is going to be, where exactly did you watch? This is why I have to watch the young ones. What are you going on about? I was... What? Pathetic Miles Edgeworth. The lowest of the low. There's some sort of cheeky sign stuck to the defense's bench. Couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long, you understand, so... Hold it! The crime took place in the courtyard, correct? You go from my room to the main hall. You have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard. That's right, in other words, pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There's no complicated setup in this case. Thank goodness. I'm tired of all those setups in this game. Everything was staged. Yeah, I'm sure, Phoenix. That certainly seems to be true. There's indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify it. Yeah, thank you, game, for being specific. Like, you're just vague enough to lead me to my own devices to get into trouble. Memory, observation, yeah, great. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch you talking about it. Dollars let me go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Murder weapon, yeah. Yeah, there was a lightning strike, so I don't think she would have been there. There's no bath at the temple? Yeah, we wouldn't even know that from the so-called diagram. How does this make sense? Stabbed in the back, body fell 10 feet after death. So she left Hazakura to go to the inner temple. This doesn't make sense. So she went to the inner temple to help the acolyte. Iris was presumably in the inner temple. Or returned to Hazakura Temple. So the body was, where is it found? Hazakura Temple, I guess. Right. She went to Inner Temple. I'm a bit lost, sorry. She went to Inner Temple to take a bath. Actually, no, she went to Inner Temple to help the acolyte. I left Iris to help the acolyte. The acolyte is in Inner Temple. Need a long hot soak. I don't understand how the frick I'm supposed to object here. Sorry, maybe I'm just being a dum-dum. This is a long case. Iris's hood on the third statement. Oh wait, sorry, no. You had to present Iris' testimony on the third statement. Wow. I left Iris to help the acolyte. It's so freaking vague, dude, is it not? I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple. I left Iris to help the acolyte, presumably in inner temple. So that implies Iris was in Hazakura temple. There's no bath in the inner temple. So the implication is that she returned to Iris. She left Iris and then returned. So the implication there again is that Iris was in Hazakura temple. The acolyte was in inner temple. That's what this implies, is that she was in Hazakura temple. Again, you have to just be like smart as a son of a gun. Smart as a biscuit to get this stuff, because, again, the game did not state that at all.
Objection!
Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on the powers of observation and memory, after all. Well, don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all. The head honcho of the Hazakura temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bells, she went back and stayed in her room. Is that in Hazakura temple, I guess is my question. Again, it's very confusingly worded testimony, is it not? Because she says, I left Iris to help the acolyte. The acolyte is in inner temple. She said that in her first statement. So any logical person would conclude, oh well, she must not be in inner temple. She must be in Hazakura. Because she left Iris to take care of the acolyte and then returned to Hazakura. So the implication there is that Iris was in Hazakura. So I don't understand why he's objecting with this. She did not go to inner temple. She wasn't in inner temple if that's where the acolyte was, because she was left to be tended to with the acolyte. Very confusing. No! Objection! Even she's confused. She's like, I have no clue what the frick is going on anymore. And it's only the first statement. Defendant or defense? Who's more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. Objection! But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Again, so why is he bringing up inner temple? I'm so freaking confused. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. Her room is in Hazakura Temple. Again, I don't know what Edgeworth is saying here. Like, she went to the inner temple. Like, no one said she went to the inner temple. Not even Bikini said that. No one said that. So why is he saying that? That is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes. Well, all people lie. That's my belief. Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Bailiff, please see to it that she does not do that anymore. Edgeworth, please put a sock in it. Neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means, let's call your memory into question. Yeah. You're older than me, yet you want to play that game, do you? Oh, well, that isn't exactly what I... Memory's perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. And I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you're going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. I was thinking to think that alone would do the trick. I don't even understand what the game is saying. She was obviously not in her temple. That wasn't evidence through the testimony, nor the evidence. Thank you very much. Okay, that's all I have to say. And please add your comments about ours to the testimony. Let's return to the cross-examination. It's established she wasn't in her temple. Both by Bikini and Iris. They're both in agreement. No, she wasn't in her temple. Meanwhile, Bikini's like, I never said she was. Where did that come from?
Hold it!
Are you sure that you're not making a mistake? You know, might need to get your estimation of me up from the floor. Iris always wears the same clothes. Smallest thing out of place would have stood out like a sore thumb to me. You're making a mistake. Thinking I made a mistake. Excellent finish there, witness. You'll have to wonder. It's the hood. You retaliate with the hood. She wasn't wearing this. Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met. She was wearing this demon-warding hood, correct? Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wow. Wait a minute. Objection! Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That is the question of the day now, isn't it? Miss Von Karma. I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night. Where the lights out bell was wrong. What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? The witness had seen the defendant as she claims. Then the iris she saw should have been missing in this very hood. Well. It's not a bad feeling at all. I don't understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does that. Order in the court! Wait, is yours? Whoa! This hood. You got spare ones around the temple, don't you? May as well. I do tend to make too many of them. I see, a stockpile, surplus of hoods, huh? Each nut is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owns. And this is quite strange. Whoa! If it wasn't surplus of hoods, then she should have worn one of those. She could have worn one of those. Not true, though, based on what Bikini just said. They only get one hood. So if she gave her hood away, she would have no hood at that point. And presumably, Bikini would know, right? If she got a replacement. I don't know. Maybe not. There's no contradiction here. Sorry to break to you, Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. Seeds of doubt. Wait a minute. While I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision. I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the inner temple. The seeds of doubt are spreading in the judge's heart. You just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Strange comparison, but okay. Contradictory stimulation. Yes, very stimulating. Alright, let's not get carried away, Edgeworth. After my baths. Oh, wow. Finished my bath around 11. Thought I should return to the inner temple. As I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. Took a look and Iris was so mystically with the sword of all things. So, again, she didn't need to say she was wearing the same thing she always did. Because she didn't see her wearing the hood. That is an irrelevant, what I would call an irrelevant story detail. She actually didn't even need to say that. That's a contradiction out of nowhere by the game. Like, completely out of nowhere, out of the blue. We just had to contradict something, so she just said something that was not true. For some bizarre reason, even though she saw something else. And yeah, it's true, people do make mistakes, but I don't think she would have made a mistake like that. It's the kind of thing that's like saying, like, oh, well, Iris was wearing a red shirt that day. Like, it's obviously not true. She's wearing the same thing she always wears. That's obviously not true. She wasn't wearing the hood. You know, she wouldn't have said that. Straight up, she wouldn't have said it. Mr. Khalif was staying in the corner room, which faces onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. Alright. You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in court. In court. Be seeing it all from this very chair. Something like that. Judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. I will look like the fool if I commented on such foolishness. This case is mine, Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours? I don't think they call attorneys by their first names. Miles? Isn't that right, Miles? I guess sometimes they do, but after the bath. Finish the bath around 11. No, you didn't. How far is it from your room to the inner temple? Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. About 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura. Inner temple's just beyond the bridge. Well, you never made it back there that night, did you? That's right. I was heading along the walkway toward the main hall. Heard a noise from the courtyard. Took a look and... You say you heard a noise? Oh, just like that. It could only be the sound of the victim falling. Very quiet in the temple, you know. You could even hear the snow falling from the branches. Just like that. But then, couldn't this noise you heard have been the snow falling to the ground? I never thought of that. Never thought of that. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, ho. Next one to the left gets a whipping. Whatever the source of the sound, I looked over the courtyard and... With the sword of all things! Hold it. This is the second time that the witness has testified to seeing the defendant. Some doubt remains in these claims. So what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to... The murderer who stabbed the victim with the sword. Mr. Bikini, try to recall exactly who you saw, as clearly as you can. Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Now that you mention it, there was something awfully strange about it. Something that's been bugging me all this time. Please, don't keep us in suspense. The hood? Or hood? That's right, it's coming back to me. She wasn't wearing her hood. Yes, dude, you already knew that. So why did you say she was wearing the same thing she always wears? It obviously wasn't true. Thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? She's giving that hood away to someone, right? Yeah, it's now coming back to you. Yeah, it just came back to me just now, guys. I saw the whole thing, but yeah, there was something strange about that. Take your own theory, I don't even think this is bad on Edgeworth. I think it's bad on Bikini. How are you going to change your testimony like that? Like, you saw it. So did she wear her hood or not? How do you not remember that? On the night of the murder, you just saw a murderer. How do you... I don't know. It's always important. I can't see any other details. I would like these new statements to be added to the testimony. I'll take it, but if you want to hang yourself, you need only to ask. I will gladly lend my witness. Witness, add that statement to your testimony. No problem. Iris didn't have a hood on. Hold it! He will press everything else. The room the victim was staying overlooked the courtyard, correct? Meaning the victim's room was on the second floor. Oh no, Haskell Temple is a single-story building. Not itself slopes downward. I do not understand at all. Which elevates the main gate at the side of the temple and the guest rooms in the back. So the building is like on a slope, is that right? I have no clue what this means. About the height of a two-story building. Again, makes zero sense. I see, and the victim was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct? How is... I don't even know what that's like. I should know. I'm the one who carried her things to her room after all. Hold it! Makes you so sure of all this. Just like I told you earlier. I heard a noise from the courtyard, okay? Just like that. One smart sister, I believe that. She doesn't even know if it was the body of the person, though. Autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicating a fall from around 10 feet in height. Appears that the witness was not mistaken then. Well, they just a pretty face, especially in the mirror. Woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura. Only two of them working now. What's wrong, Miles? It's worth most of them come back for the bite. doesn't feel like she's lying. This is a very powerful testimony, too. Seems we've seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. There are only two things I can believe in right now. My client Iris and my own abilities as a defense attorney. Now, let's just keep talking until the end of time. That'll definitely work. Police's autopsy on the fifth statement. I figured as much. You have to contradict them on the smallest inconsistency in the testimony. So ridiculous.
Objection!
It's after death. I can just think some like developer like patting themselves on the back like, I'm so smart and clever. The testimony says she died after the fall, but the autopsy report said before. I can just see some Phoenix developer saying that. I said logic. That's what I'd like to say anyway. Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter. You know, everything is a winter time, isn't it? I think you're overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? Autopsy report? The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed. After? Oh, Zingaroonie! The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. The defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard. How did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall? It's possible she fell and then got stabbed. That's possible. I also don't know how they would determine the difference in an autopsy. It's not exactly clear, but okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's possible she could have fallen out the window and then got stabbed after she fell. It's possible she had an accident, Edgeworth. She accidentally fell out of windows. People get pushed out of windows all the time, too. Might have been pushed, might have fell accidentally. Might have been gazing out over the balcony and then, you know, tumbled over. Easier to explain if she got stabbed on the second floor, though, and then fell out. But, I mean, that calls into the entire... That calls into question... everything that Bikini said. I mean, was it all a lie? Was everything Bikini said a lie? Because, I mean, she would have had to have seen... I mean, who knows? Who knows what she saw? Because she didn't even see how the person died. She stabbed him back, and then she fell out of her room. Iris never left her room, so are Iris and Elise staying in the same room? Was killed and then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room, don't you agree? Again, why would Bikini's testimony not agree with that? That's the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. She was thrown out of her window down into the courtyard below. Objection! Were there any signs of struggle in Miss Donham's room? She was stabbed in the back. So, probably not. She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain, would you agree? Yeah. Well. Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? What? No traces of blood were found in the victim's room. What if it just caused traces of blood we found in my glorious playout bed? However, if there was no blood in the room, then you'll claim that... sure there's no need for me to go over this. As I'm sure your honor is well aware. When a stab wound produces the most blood. Produces the most blood? Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of blade's insertion. You want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body? It would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, the weapon's still in place. It's possible she was stabbed and then pushed out of her window. And if that were the case, it's possible it left behind very little blood. Definitely possible. Like, she's stabbed with a sword and then she falls out of the window. It's possible the no blood would have been left in the room. Especially if she was already out the window or close to the window. Indeed, but the weapon's still in place. It acts like a lid on the wound. That's true, with the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. Perfectly reasonable line of thinking. You come to a conclusion. The victim was thrown out through the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions. Why is her testimony not reflecting that, though? Order! You must admit that this is a probable version of events. Expect no less from Francesca von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point. Yeah, exactly. She just takes control. She takes over all the control. It seems that we need a clear testimony from the witness. Move all supposition on your part and tell us one of the facts, please. Witness, please. Remain standing on the crate. Don't go selling me short now. The way the winter snow has bent me out of shape. Especially my back and my move. We know you can't stop talking about winter. Please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here. You didn't have to go that far, Von Karma. Jeez Louise. With whip. Good boy. Alright. Now I will tell you what really happened. Like, come on, dude. Oh, that's right. She fell from the window. That's right. Now I remember. See, I couldn't think clearly because I never saw anything. That's why. I just made it up as I went along. Little old me. I had to be told what happened to have my story straight. See, that's how it works. When I looked across the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. So again, what did you see? Never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? When I woke, Mystic Amy was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. So really, you never saw anything. I'd be like, okay, so you didn't see anything. So it confirms Ms. Von Karma's theory. Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Mal Edgeworth. So why does it look like Elise is down here then? Because Elise is Mystic Amy is a statue. And need I remind you, that was an actual statue. So how did that even play out? Perfection is an impossibility, Francesca von Karma. I'm here to teach you just that. Further details. Sorry, my chair just twists. I don't know why it does that.
Hold
At the time, let the victim leave. Very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I saw any blood, not then. I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug-in lens. In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed?
Hold it!
No, so why are we relying on his testimony? This is very important. It's not what we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worried. Which must not be much, because you never even saw the moment in question, so why are you claiming that you did? I saw her stab Elise, but come to think of it, I didn't see that at all. Okay, great. So what did you see? The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves rather hard, Miles Edgeworth. So really, you never saw it.
Hold it!
Remember, the spot onto ours too. The victim was arrested. She was meditating in her room. Her blood-black clothing was neatly folded in the corner. What? That seems quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further? Always, Edgy. Going back to your previous statement, you said that we saw the bleeding when the victim was stabbed. Yes, but now you say the victim was bleeding. Which is it? I don't know anything anymore. I say that what I saw is what I saw. What I saw is nothing. Again, the judge. What did you see? Here we are, now we're into your testimony. We still don't know what you saw. Isn't that a joke? Isn't that funny, people? Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed. I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. So, what did you see? Even as was like, what the frick is going on here? It wasn't exactly the poem, it was more like came out. So, yeah, we don't know anything.
Hold it!
Press it. Stood up, sword in her hand, just slid out of Mr. Lisa's body. It slid out and I gave him wound. That's what I was saying, that the sword was removed, they would be bleeding. Yeah, Iris was in her room, so how's that possible?
Hold it!
Is it true you've never seen so much blood? Why would the killer pull out the sword? All he wanted to do was place a weapon in the hand of the golden statue. There's no reason to remove from the body. Again, I'm not even sure how that would be possible. She was stabbed with the sword, she fell out of her room, and then it's put in the hand of the statue. Yeah, I literally don't know how that's possible. But yeah, okay. Video game logic, anything's possible. Anything's possible. I mean, logically speaking, she would have had to have taken that sword out, right? Because I don't know how else you pull that off. And not only that, she probably would have had to move the body as well. She would have had to move the body and the sword to the statue. At minimum, to pull that off. And she'd probably need to do some rearranging because, again, the statue, unless it has, the statue has a hand that's frozen in position, right? So even putting the sword into the hand, it would require the statue to be in a certain position, right? Like you can't, again, it's impossible. You can't really do that, but again, it's a stupid video game, so let's just keep going. Let's keep going. It is strange not to mention it.
Hold it!
Butane ended well, so everyone just loses consciousness on scenes of crimes. Helps to make sure we have big, nice gaps in our understanding of what happened. You saw none of it, correct? I mean, it's possible the killer did all of this. Young man with a very pretty looking head woke me up. Definitely, actually. How did Phoenix even fall in the river? I don't know. I wasn't asking for mouth to mouth or anything, but I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about that, I'm tell you. I shall have words with the offended person. What did you see upon awakening?
Hold it!
My Misty King, your friend, the golden statue. You stabbed someone with the shit she chose. Take the treasure, terrible enough. Make Mr. Gamey hold the blade. That's not possible. Really heinous to speak. It's fine. Easy to despise something. Anyone can do it. Like me despising this game's logic. There's something that cannot be done so easily. Except for things I'm sure undoubtedly hard for you. What's the problem? Why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Again, just look at that hand. There are so many questions like how anyone would even pull this off. The sword would have to be removed in the first place. Why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reason behind that? Only God can. There isn't always a logical reason behind why someone acts. Yeah, there is. I can, like, pinpoint the reason I did, I think, everything. Like, the reason behind everything I've ever done. Like, people always act within reason. Like, they don't do things nonsensically with no reason at all. Even the things that I regret doing and the things that didn't, looking back, make sense, I can explain what my rationale was for them at the time. Like, I was angry, I was upset, I was frustrated, something. Early spring, I found myself. Yeah, let's just talk about every season in the year. Let's just do that. That sword is the most damning piece of evidence, too. Because why would Iris pull the sword out? I think it's Iris's testimony on this statement, if I'm not mistaken. It's the Shishito itself. Why would she try to pull it out? And how did her fingerprints get on the sword, for that matter? It's just one of those, like, silly little nonsensical things in the game. Like, why would she touch the sword? I'm confused. If she didn't murder her, why did she touch the murder weapon? That's very weird. I don't know why she would do that. Sorry. Sometimes this game just annoys the living crap out of me. Mr. Bikini, you're a reliable witness. At least I'd like to think so, but there are too many contradictions. What do you mean? You make it sound so I'm a liar. I mean, people do make mistakes, and people also lie. If it's the case that you should have known, then it's definitely a lie. It's definitely a lie. You're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about? Scene that the witness claims to have seen. The weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain. Explain yourself. To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? Well, there's no blood on the sword itself. There's blood. There's not blood up to the hilt, I should say. There is blood on the tip. No matter how I looked at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that. And I'm not sure I would point to this. I'd point to the blood on the sword itself. Because if it was plunged all the way in and pulled all the way out, there should be blood all over the sword. Objection! Doesn't appear. What meaningless dribble? I too may appear to be weak and frail. I can crush men under my heel and make them weak should I so choose. I mean, I wouldn't have pointed to the sword's weight as being a pointed issue. Some women are surprisingly strong. Like, Like, I don't go to the gym anymore, but when I did, there were women in there who were lifting weights. Which is to suggest that women aren't that much weaker than men, relatively speaking. Yes, it's true, men as a trend are physically stronger, but I think if you look at the average man and the average woman, they're not that far apart. The average man is not that much stronger than the average woman. I think it's a very old-fashioned and outdated stereotype that men are stronger than women. I mean, if you looked at like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, yeah, you'd probably say, yeah, men are stronger. But again, Arnold Schwarzenegger is not the average man. I'll just point that out. He's really not. The average man looks a lot more like Homer Simpson. Just saying. I wiped a little bag there, I must admit. Objection! That isn't the only issue here. The blood dude. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in the body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when a weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding. Why are her fingerprints on the weapon? Doesn't make sense. Why would you try to pull the sword out? Doesn't makes like zero sense. And Iris's testimony said she was in her room up till the time of the murder, so she was already dead at that point. By the way. If Iris is telling the truth, that is. She could very well be lying, who knows. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop bleeding.
Objection!
That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with a shishito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly and may still sometimes stop the blood loss. No.
Objection!
Yeah, no. I'm not finished. There's still one more conclusive contradiction. You still got more? This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? Thank you! Captain Obvious saves the day! This witness is telling the truth, and there should be blood all along the entire length of the sword. Correct? I don't know why that's the moment of controversy, but okay. Bravo, Miles. You pointed out the obvious. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. The other attorneys I know would maybe manage one, in fact. What does this all mean? They prove the contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but the Bikini testimony simply isn't consistent. That's all it means. Iris's fingerprints are still on the weapon. And no one else's, for some bizarre reason. The weapon used to kill the victim is not the shishito. What? Foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy, foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think this sword was the murder weapon? Well, because Mr. Campbell was holding it. Exactly, however, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene is just too strong. That is what influences us. It influences us to believe the shishito was the murder weapon. So what was the murder weapon? And why does it have Iris's fingerprints on it? So maybe the shishito was not the murder weapon. If that's the case, it changes nothing else. So where is the murder weapon, and why is Iris trying to pull it out? The detective here saw everything. He saw the defendant stab the victim with the sword-like object. He just said she didn't, so... Yeah, she just said she didn't, so... That's true. Your response, Miles Edgeworth? That's so. I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. Obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found. Yeah, let's just go down a random rabbit hole instead of look at the obvious. You mean to tell me she was stabbed, she fell out of a second-story window, face down, the killer is able to go down there, perhaps remove the murder weapon, take the shishito from the statue, stab her in the back with it, perhaps after moving the corpse to the statue, reattaching the sword to the hand of the statue, and dispose of the murder weapon, all without anyone seeing. And then Iris comes down and tries to remove the sword. Like, again, it makes no sense. Like, it actually does not make sense. She comes down and she tries to remove the sword. Meanwhile, no one saw who the killer was, what the murder weapon was. They never saw the person moving the body around. I didn't even know why she said Iris. Like, why did she say Iris? You didn't see the statue. You didn't see anything. Another mystery thrown in the pile. Travel without a murder weapon is a tricky business. Did I say something? I just remembered something, actually. Please do tell us. Your testimony is literally the only thing we have to go on. We have a murder weapon with the fingerprints on it, but somehow that's not enough. The trial. I was thinking it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was just over there. What exactly are you going on about? Murder weapon, I mean, maybe. I think I might know where the sword's disposed of. Are you the murderer? that is the very next question I would ask. Were you the murderer, Sister Bikini? Because it seems very strange. You know where the murder weapon is, and you saw Iris stabbing the victim even though Iris never left her room. So why would you say that unless you're the murderer? Yep, we gotta have cartoonish antics from Von Karma. Otherwise it wouldn't be a Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Okay. I think we need to hear the testimony from you one more time. Were you the one who murdered Lise? I think she did it, straight up. Location of the weapon, this ought to be good. I saw the murder around 11. After asking that it would be reported, I went out to the main gate. There I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk the dusty bridge, but less than 5 minutes. Again, these storylines are so freaking confusing. What does the bridge have to do with anything in this trial? Yeah, apparently either the murderer killed her, moved the body, arranged the crime scene without you seeing anything, or you're the murderer. One of the two. Yeah, I mean, how long were you unconscious? Seems like people just keep falling unconscious in this game. Like, they just keep losing consciousness, and then, you know, the killer does one or more things. They conveniently fall unconscious too at the most critical moment. Like they all just have like spontaneous, what is it called? Spontaneous amnesia or comas. You could drive a snowmobile, okay? So what does that mean? Yeah, you don't know anything. They go all the way to Dusky Bridge. Oh my gosh. So did we test the snowmobile for Prince then? Was Phoenix Wright the one who used the snowmobile? Yeah.
Hold it!
You're right again. Wright was the one who was calling for help. There was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited. That's it, that's the only one we have. The one no matter how much snow falls. It was there at the main gate when you arrived. Of course, it was parked in front of the gate. She's already gone. This card of the motor weapon returned by that time. Again, how? What do you mean, eh? That's right. Don't get so crowded. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it's still warm, then it means it was recently used. Never thought of that. That's right. I overlooked that too. Of course you did. Answer the question, please, witness. Don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it. Yeah, let's just talk about anything. It's fine. For some reason, only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow. Excuse me. Seems highly likely that the killer did use a snowmobile, then, eh? How long does it take to get to Dusky Bridge by snowmobile? He said 15 minutes. Or 5 minutes, sorry.
Hold it!
15 minutes if you're walking. There's a reason to that. I've got time for me to explain. I think that's why the question was asked in the first place. About a month ago, I was driving my beloved snowmobile happy as can be, touched some water and was heading back when I went crashing into a tree. Me and my back both went crunch just like that. I haven't been able to find a church ride or anything since then. Still must have used it. Her faces are hilarious too.
Hold it!
Yeah, how long were you knocked out? 10, 20 minutes. Cool. That was enough time for the entire murder to take place and for the cover-up to happen. Perfect.
Hold it!
Sorry, I just got tired of reading. Straight up. So why do we have a murder weapon then if it was disposed of in the river? Anyone know? Why is she congratulating herself because the murder weapon was disposed of? Again, so what is this sword? Yeah, I saw the murder at 11. Tracks. It seems like I'm just like randomly presenting evidence. We have a random picture of a snowmobile. We'll just present it. And when you say Iris could have done it. Again, I don't understand the objection here. If Iris was the one driving it, couldn't it have been possible she left one set of tracks? Why is Edgeworth implying that there was more than one murder? He left the temple, threw the weapon in the river, and then returned. There should be 2 sets of tracks in the snow. What's bizarre is there are no tracks leading from the snowmobile. That is what's bizarre. There's a single set of tracks and a single path that was made by the snowmobile. That in and of itself does not make sense. Well, let's just keep going. Let's entertain the game's logic here. Snowfall covered 1 set of tracks. The killer went to and returned from Duska Bridge in order to dispose of the murder weapon. Now going tracks were raised by snow. Why not dispose of the body there too? Outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. It's this, right? And I'm just going to start presenting random evidence. Now let's look at the weather report, the income statement, the credit card statement. We'll just look at everything. Credit default 7, stopped around 1050. Wow. It's not a forecast, Von Karma. It's a weather report. I'm tired talking, you know that. I'll present this again, straight up. Again, how did the killer do all of this? They moved the body, they swapped out the murder weapons, they disposed of the murder weapon, and no one saw anything. Not even Bikini saw anything. Actually blows my mind. And not only that, they didn't dispose of the body. They had time to do all of that crap, and they did not have enough. For whatever reason, they didn't dispose of the body. It makes zero sense. It's the crime photo. It depends when the photo was taken. It depends when the photo was taken because that snow that was already on the statue and ground could have been there prior to her. For example, if this photo was taken 30 minutes after the murder, you know, there might not have been snow on her, especially if it wasn't snowing. There'd only be snow on her if it was snowing at the time. I am like so confused too. They had time to do all of this. And there's one set of tracks. I mean, I don't even know how that's possible. Again, there should have been at least two regardless. Tracks from when they got on and tracks from when they got off. They're heading for the bridge. It's still snowing. They return to the temple. Snow had stopped. Tracks remained. I had to use the bathroom. as I've said, like, at least, I think, 10 times through the series again, these episodes are just way too freaking long. Like, they are abysmally long. Like, watch. Can I say something? No, you've only been saying stuff for the last 3 hours. Like, let's go. I'm done. Unless it was the flawed photo or something. I like how we're inventing these crazy theories that have no basis in reality. They didn't dispose of the murder weapon after all. Yeah, great. We just wasted 30 minutes of everyone's time trying to go through this random, fantastical, you know, idea of what kind of, sort of, could have happened, and it didn't. Like, what? This freaking game. Oh, it's this stupid guy.
Take that!
I think either he's the murderer or Bikini is. Like, it's fun and fine for like the first hour, I would say. Once you're past that, it like the episode quickly deteriorates. I'd say it's also the style of game too. Like, there's just too much dialogue in the game. Where you're reading, like you're reading for a full hour. Like, it's not like Resident Evil, right? Because in Resident Evil, I'm not forced to talk the entire time. Right? Like, I'm able to play the game, enjoy the cutscene. Like, I don't have to talk throughout the cutscene. I don't have to do voices for the characters. And even if I did, I don't have to talk throughout gameplay. Right? Like, I can explore the room, say, what's in here? I can kind of just think out loud. I'm not like just constantly reading lines, which is what this game basically is. I was even looking on Steam and it had like amazing reviews. I don't agree with that at all. Like, I think Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney was a B game, like maybe like A through F, maybe a B. Justice for All was like B minus, maybe C plus. This game I think is like straight D. And if you take the average of all the scores, it's like a solid C. It's like a C average. If you're someone who like loves to read, this could be a good game because you could just like sit there and read through all the lines and stuff. If you're someone like me that gets tired of talking, it's not going to be fun to stream. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to be fun to stream because you're going to be talking literally the entire freaking time. And I mean, even if I was to be streaming like Majora's Mask, I'm playing Majora's Mask right now. There are moments where characters are talking and I could read those lines, but there are moments in the game where it's like the temple, the there's like a Goron race where you have to race the Gorons. All throughout those sequences, you're focused on gameplay. You don't even need to be talking at that time because you're so focused on the action. And that's something I think that this game is severely lacking too. They just don't have enough action. Like the investigations are boring, the trials are too long, like and in Ace Attorney you kind of had the action with like the objections and trying to figure out the case like it's like a type of puzzle. But in this game, I feel like the plots and the explanations are so fantastical and so counterfactual, right? Like we were just exploring theories here in the courtroom, and it's tedious, is what it is. It's very tedious. Did they dispose of the murder weapon in the river under Dusky Bridge? Well, no, that couldn't have happened because there was snow on the snowmobile. And if so, like, where did this murder weapon come from? Like, where's this Shishito coming from? Why is there blood on the murder weapon? Why do we have this weapon? Is it a murder weapon? Why does it have blood on it and Iris's fingerprints on it if it's not the murder weapon? There's just all these like questions, and there are so few answers in the game. And you have this like nonsensical evidence that it's like it's exhausting, like just playing the game because they call up witnesses again, and the testimony, it's like, well, I'm actually not sure what I saw her. I actually didn't see her. I actually didn't see her at all. It's like, okay, so then why were you called as a witness then? We have these witnesses in the game where their testimony, pardon my French, is complete garbage. Like they didn't see anything, where you wonder like what they really did see. Because she says she saw Iris stab Elise, but the autopsy report directly contradicts that, right? It's saying she died before the fall, right? The autopsy report says that she died and then she fell 10 feet. So I think it begs the obvious question, what did Bikini really see? Is the autopsy report wrong, or is Bikini lying? Which one's more plausible? I mean, I think Bikini could be lying. Again, is Bikini the actual murderer? I don't know. It's frustrating. Like probably one of the most frustrating games I'm playing right now. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Sorry, Phoenix Wright Ace. Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. Yeah, Trials and Tribulations. Tribulations is right because I don't even know what the frick any of these trials are even about. Like, and it does take me out of the game too when they have these like off the wall theories and they have these witness testimonies that are just lacking. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Thanks for watching, guys, and getting through it with me. I know this has been an hour and a half long episode, but again, that's Phoenix Wright. It just keeps going on and on and on, and we keep exploring these possibilities that have no basis in reality. And it just takes up a bunch of time. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Donations, Venmo, Stormer Show. This has been Stormer Show.